All right, what's up, everybody? Back again. Robert Peppo, Small Business Uncensored. Make sure you go follow on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Instagram being number one still most used, Robert_J_Peppo. And so after this one, I got my next week's podcast. Absolutely awesome. Be at a different location, doing something super dope, trying to bring you guys something really awesome. Okay, the guest that I mentioned, coming soon. Everything's ready to go on that. But next week, make sure you subscribe, follow. It's going to be super dope. Check in. All platforms are going to be jumping, guaranteed. Again, Robert J. Peppo on every social media platform. Appreciate you guys. All right, getting right into it. This week's episode is going to be about influence. Now, we all know we have influence from social media to people you interact with daily, your family. Now, this could be good or bad. So what are we going to do? You should purge it all to make it exactly what you want, right? So you're going to be feeding yourself the exact things that you want. Mostly whatever you're going for, the good, right? Get all that toxic shit out of here. So what I do is I unfollow lots of stuff. So maybe you've been on Facebook for 8 years, 10 years, whatever. Unfollow a bunch of that old shit that just scrolls through. You're subconsciously seeing that, get rid of it, okay? Follow only those things that resonate with you today, okay? If you feel some affinity for something because maybe you had a tie to your past, or maybe you feel bad if you unfollow it, that's okay. If it's not relevant to you today and they're not feeding into your goals, your life, your family, your money, your friends, get rid of it, all right? There's so much more good stuff out there to fill that space. You won't miss it, and they most likely won't miss you either. All right, sounds a little harsh, but it's true. Life is short. Opportunities come and go. Whatever you're focused on today, purge your social media, purge your influences, remove all that other stuff, and focus on what you're trying to do. Maybe you're trying to grow your business. Maybe it's sports. Maybe it's school. Remove everything else, all right? So control your influences. That's number one. I'm huge on that. I do it all the time. I try and follow the things that really resonate with me, and I'm going to talk about that today. I try and read only things that matter to me, and I'm going to kind of talk to you about that. And who you surround yourself with is who you will become, all right? So these are your influences. We're going to go through the people you know, and then the people who you may follow on these social media platforms that you don't know. Those influences. And I'm going to talk to you about mine. And then we're going to go to places. The places you go, the businesses you like, the things that you frequent, how those things influence you. I'm going to talk about my influences and sort of things that I model myself and what I'm trying to do after. Actually, that makes me think of another one. I'm just going to add one in here so I can talk to you guys about it. Got my little notes here. Talk to you about the businesses that influence you, and maybe you can model your stuff like I have after other businesses doing very good, doing what you want to do, how you want to do it. Emulate them, emulate these influences, and go. The last one is books. All right, books are influential to me. Everyone knows that, and if you don't know that, you're about to find out. Books are very important to many great thinkers, doers, entrepreneurs, and just generally successful people. Almost every single one of them, there's like a few resounding things that people say to do to be successful. Reading is always on their list. Some form of exercises and some sort of healthy habit is as well. These are three simple basic things that are a staple. All right, so let's just start with the people that influence you. So the people that influence me. Number one, my dad. We're talking about business. We will start there. By far, my dad, best customer service. The people and the customers that we interact with daily, still 45 years later, talk about the influence he's had, talk about how nice he is, all the things that he's brought from 1976 when he started till today, and they resonate with me, and I literally see exactly what he's done and try and do the same thing so that I can really maintain not only what he's done, but build that so people say the same thing, think the same thing about me. I'm always going to add my little flares into it and my rogue ideas in, but if I don't mention that, what he has done, not only from customer service, but keeping your product the same, making sure it is how it's always been, what the customer expects every time. We'll get into that a little bit more, but he was the first one that I've seen as my business influence to do that from a young age. Even before I even cared, I didn't understand, but I see it now, and I obviously was in my subconscious picking that up then. All right, so shout out to my dad for paving the way. Still setting an example, so then all of our employees and everybody who comes in interaction with us sees and knows that too. It's like a resounding core value of our business, okay? So that's number one. I've been blessed with that for like 15 years to have worked with him when I started to realize how this is working, okay? Another one is one of my first mentors, a guy named Tim Mercedes, okay? Awesome mentor to me, family friend. One of the first people that I knew that was actually successful, had tons of toys, tons of cool stuff. So when I was young, I kind of saw that, was like, wow, that's dope. And not only till I got older did I know like how much he worked, what he put into it, how he got it. And then when I came to him and asked him some things about business, he really broke it down to me. And I still go see him today. Probably actually is the dopest office in building I've ever seen. I'll save another video for that. Perhaps he'd even let me do a video there with him. In fact, he has, because I've done a few shoots over there, and friends with his son as well. So shout out Tim and Wayne Smolinski, okay? Very successful, wealthy man. Went to high school with his son. And when I went to their gated community and I went to their house and I literally looked around like, yo, how did you do this? I would love to be successful someday. And this was after some time, and I worked the courage up to ask him because I was young. And he said, and I asked about stocks, is it business, is it this, is it that? He said, look, whatever you're going to do, be interested in it, okay? Keep it simple, whatever you like, whatever you are going to have fun doing, researching, and then just work at that for a long time. These were like simple things that he did, that he passed on to me, that I took. He got me started in stocks, set me up with his financial advisor and his stockbroker guy at Schwab that I could talk to. And then as I got older, I kept kind of just talking to him a little bit. But he was the first one that broke it down pretty simple for me. And that's, again, what I've used as my influence to keep things simple. Invest in things that you know and like, because it's going to keep you interested in it. I don't do all this Forex trading. I don't try and get involved in businesses that I don't know, and I keep my head out of that. And I focus my lane in my business, in my business endeavors, my investing on things that I know and things that I like. If I haven't done it, I'm only going to do it if I'm really interested in it. I like it. It's something that I do. Fitness, music, restaurants, cars, travel, Army. These are the things that I focus on because I really like them. I'm halfway good at them, and I know that if I start these things, I'm going to continue and finish, and won't just be a fly-by-night thing. All right, so let's talk about some people that are on social media maybe that I follow, some of my influences that I don't really know. Let's see, Andy Frisella, super hardcore business rogue, great podcast, tells it like it is, straight shooter. I love his energy. He's the motherfucking CEO. He's the OG of that. That's where I got that from. And the motherfucking CEO, he is that. That's his coin term. But he said, you be that motherfucking CEO for yourself. Take that and own your shit. That's why I do it, okay? He gave me the permission. Thank you. Shout out. David Goggins. Just follow him. I'll put all these links and stuff too. Mindset. Ability to push past, former Navy SEAL, author, just super badass inspiration. If you don't know who he is, I'm sure that you do. You go follow him, David Goggins. All right, Ed Milet, very successful businessman, amazingly cordial in how he conducts himself. Okay, very successful. He was an athlete back in the day, so I resonate with him. He's big into fitness. Great podcast as well. Gary V. Totally out there, straight shooter, tells you what it is, worked his 20s away, put in amazing hours, and again, he is just straightforward, he rogues, he swears, and these people resonate with me because it's how I function. He's incredibly successful, big lofty goals, very happy with what he is, he's content, he's grateful, but he's still going for more, okay, that's who I resonate with. So businesses, so when I go to places, I go there as a consumer, but I also go there looking as an owner. And how is this business functioning? How is the back end look? Is it clean? Is it doing this? And I see it from two different ways, so I can say, hey, should I take a piece of that and do that? Hey, they do that good. They do that bad. Things like that, right? So a few that I really like, Portillo's, okay, restaurant, right? They started really small, came up with a big system. They do the same thing every time, every location. It's replicable. And it works out really good. So I really like how big they've gotten, how they've done, how they went public. Really great story. Starbucks, same thing. And Starbucks for a few different reasons. One, because they're a massive company, so it gives me a goal to aspire to. But two, because they're very good. They're They're not cheap, but people go there no matter what. All right, so it's very interesting to me how the things that they've done, their setups, how clean they are, how they look, things like that. So Starbucks is definitely one. Chipotle for the same reasons. Good food, easy, simple, quality. You know what you're going to get every time, okay? Southwest Airlines, okay? Southwest Airlines, super cool. Their book that I'll get to in just a couple minutes, awesome book. But the way that they've done things, different than other airlines. When the airline industry was one way and one way only for quite a long time, I really like how they disrupted that industry. I fly them. I like their prices. I think they're fast. I think the ease of use is there. So that's one. Bob Shin's Crab Shack, okay, restaurant in Illinois, single highest grossing independent restaurant in the nation. I think they won that accolade several years in a row. But the amount of money they do out of one location gives me inspiration, and why I do what I do, whether we expand or not. Even though I do want to expand, you don't have to. So you don't have to expand your business. You just do really, really good at what you do, and you can absolutely crush it. So that's my goal too, and I take influence from them because it can be done. Pete's Fresh Market, super random grocery store. Why do I really like a grocery store? Because the first time I ever went into the Pete's in Hickory Hills or Bridgeview, I was like, these shelves are stocked so good. Who's in charge? Like this is incredible. Because you can say you have hourly workers, entry level workers. You know, maybe you don't expect the shelves to look this good. Like literally every shelf of every aisle was faced perfectly, filled up, and it was almost like that every single time I went in there until including recently. And so I really like whatever their system and strategy is. I appreciate it. And I strive to emulate that in some ways too with our systems and processes. So shout out to them. So books, okay? Let's get to a few book influences before I wrap this up. So why I love books. And I've come up with a quote. It says, I said, books are quotes from books. Quotes are there to circumnavigate the nonsense of whole books. And this is what I mean. It doesn't mean that whole books are nonsense, but when you ask somebody, hey, what was this book about? You tell them a quick quote or maybe a sentence or two, all right? But you read the whole book, so there's clearly a ton of information there. But you really only come away with one little bit or one nugget of wisdom from each book that you read, okay? And why that's key is that if you're not going to take every book that you read and apply everything and do it. There's no fucking way that's going to happen. But if you take just a little bit of wisdom from each book and apply that, you're going to get 1% better. And then that next book is going to add, the next book is going to add, the next book is going to add. So not one book is your be-all, end-all, okay? That's why you read a lot of books all the time. But if you take that one little bit and apply that, you say, hey, that made a lot of sense. You write that portion down. Okay, and you take that and you apply it. There you go. You read another book, you take that little bit and apply it, okay? Because you're never going to, if somebody says, hey, what was that book about? You're never going to tell them the whole book. So if you're telling yourself and you sit back, you just finish a book, take the few key points and run with those, okay? Don't worry about the whole rest of the book. You're not trying to do every single step of all this stuff. That is really actually, I don't think anybody's ever done that. A few of mine, okay? Maybe write these down. As a man thinketh. Think and grow rich. How to win friends and influence people. Nuts, which is a Southwest book. Amazing if you're listening to this or watching this for business, okay? In-N-Out Burger, again, awesome. And not just awesome because I'm in the restaurant industry, just awesome in general, how they've done their business, how they reward their employees, things like that. Outliers, Nudge. Okay, and there's two books here that I'm going to read. I can't tell you when and where I'm going to read them, but these are my next two. John Taffer, Restaurant Industry, Invent and Wander from Jeff Bezos, the Amazon founder, richest person in the world. Love them or hate them. They're influencers. Read what they've done. And again, take some of those tidbits. But I'm going to read these books where I'm going to do the next podcast and when I'm there and what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk to you about it then. And then you'll see those two things. So, yeah, that's all I got for today. So purge your influences. Follow and surround yourself with only the things that lead to your goals or the better life that you're seeking. Okay, whether it's people you know, people on social media, the books that you read, the TV stations that you watch. So that's another one. I could have done a whole another 10 minutes on TV. All about your influences. Focus on what really matters to you. All right, Small Business Uncensored, Robert Peppo, stay badass, do whatever it takes. Like, follow, subscribe, share. Catch you next time.